Hi there, I'm Artie, and I don't know about you, but I grew up with Adobe Flash games. Probably not as much as quite a few other people, but Flash games were still a major part of my childhood. One of the Flash games that I played the most was a SemiMmo point-and-click-esque puzzle role-playing game created by the same person as the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, Kinney. A Flash game called Poptropica. In 2007, Pearson Education, in conjunction with Kinney, released Poptropica, and by 2012 it already had over 75 million players, making it one of the big kids MMOs at the time, alongside others like Club Penguin, Animal Jam, and Roblox. I personally started playing Poptropica in around 2015 to 2016, and I played it pretty much all the way up to 2018, just a couple of years before Flash died. Fun fact, real quick, actually, I actually started playing because of this book, which was in my school's library. Whoever said reading wasn't fun? Anyway, you might be wondering, what is Poptropica? What's on there? What happened when Flash died? Well, allow me to explain. Well, as I mentioned earlier, Poptropica is a semi-MMO point-and-click-esque puzzle role-playing game. I know it sounds like a lot to unpack, but just bear with me here. The game, at its core, is pretty much just a point-and-click puzzle game, except instead of having just one theme, like other point-and-clicks like Monkey Island, it has a whole backlog of themed islands where you have to solve different puzzles. For example, one of, if not the most popular island, is 24 Carat Island. Don't worry, by the way, they're not all crap puns. Now, here on 24 Carat, their entire economy is based on, you guessed it, carrots. Unfortunately, not only has some mysterious criminal been stealing carrots as they grow, they've also been stealing people. Yes, this is a children's game. Anyway, you rock up in your sick-ass blimp and are given the objective of finding the kidnapper/carrot nicker and putting a stop to their debauchery. Throughout your adventure, you find out that the culprit is none other than deranged sociopath Dr. Hare, who is using the carrots as rocket fuel for their giant space rabbit thing. Oh, and they've hypnotized the kidnappees and are now using them as slaves. This is still a kid's game. Alright, so you free the slaves and drive Dr. Hare's ship into an asteroid or two, blowing it up and hopefully getting rid of the dumbass for good. Now you can head on back to the mayor to receive your reward. A medallion! That's right, for restabilizing the economy, freeing a group of kidnapped mind-controlled slaves, and blowing up the local loon, you get some medallion. Just kidding, it's not completely worthless. You get medallions for every island you complete, and they're a good way to brag to your friends about the fact that you're better at solving puzzles than they are. Speaking of islands, Poptropica, as of 2019, so just before Flash died, had a whopping, get this, 49 islands. That's not counting the Home Island or World's Islands, and counting both Poptropolis games as one. I'll rattle them off real quick. Early Poptropica Island, Sharktooth Island, Time Tangled Island, 24 Carat Island, Superpower Island, Spy Island, Nabuti Island, Big Nate Island, Astronauts Island, Counterfeit Island, Reality TV Island, Mythology Island, Skullduggery Island, Steamworks Island, Great Pumpkin Island, Cryptids Island, Wild West Island, Wimpy Wonderland Island, Redragon Island, Shrinkray Island, Mystery Train Island, Game Show Island, Ghost Story Island, SOS Island, Vampire's Cursed Island, Twisted Thicket Island, Poptropolis Games Island before sinking, Wimpy Boardwalk Island, Lunar Colony Island, Supervillain Island, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Island, Zomberry Island, Nightwatch Island, Backlot Island, Beta Carotene, Virus Hunter Island, Poptropolis Games Island 2013 Rising, Poptropica Island, Monster Carnival Island, Survival Island, Mission Atlantis Island, Poptropicon Island, Arabian Nights Island, Galactic Hot Dogs Island, Mystery of the Map Island, Home Island, Timmy Failure Island, Escape from Pelican Rock Island, Monkey Wrench Island, Snagglemast Island, and Reality TV Wild Safari Island. Oh god, that's a lot of islands, and now that word has lost all meaning to me. Anyway, Even if you've never played or even heard of Poptropica, you might recognise a few of the island names. Ones like Big Nate Island, Timmy Failure Island, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Island were quite obviously crossovers with other franchises. Anyway, I've unfortunately not played every single one of these islands, and I've actually finished even less, but I'll go over some of my personal favourite islands. In no particular order, Time Tangled Island is easily the one I've played the most. It's one of the first and best Poptropican islands. Basically, you go through a time machine to the future, only to find out that something real bad has happened to some relics of the past, making the future a desolate wasteland. It's your job to use a pocket time machine to travel to different time periods, retrieve the items, and bring them back to the right place in the timeline. Mythology Island is one of the longest and arguably hardest, but best islands on Poptropica. It's based on Greek mythology, which is probably why it's one of my favourites, and it revolves around you wanting to become a god by gathering some sacred items for Zeus. Unfortunately, Zeus is a dick and yoinks said items from you, becoming super powerful. Now you have to beat him up. Yay! Zomberry Island is a kind of spoopy one, in which a zombie plague has taken over the fine city of Eastman. You have to find out where the zombies have come from and how to cure the plague. Nightwatch Island is one that I never actually finished, simply because I was too scared, despite this one not actually being that scary in hindsight. Basically, you're the new Nightwatch guard. No, this isn't FNAF, and you're watching over a shopping mall. Unfortunately for you, strange things are happening at night, still not FNAF, and it's up to you to find the culprit. Monster Carnival Island is more terrifying than the last two, even now, but it's one that I've played over and over again. It's about a travelling carnival run by the mysterious Ringmaster Raven. But wait, Ringmaster Raven is actually an evil voodoo guy that wants revenge on Poptropica for something they did to him years ago, and so begins turning carnies and townsfolk into monsters. It's your job to put a stop to it. I'm beginning to sense a pattern here. Anyway, Poptropicon Island is one of the 4 episodic islands, along with Survival, Mission Atlantis, and Arabian Nights. In the first episode, you have to use a catapult to break into Comic-Con. Not kidding. In the second episode, you're constructing a costume to win a costume contest. In the third episode, we go completely off the rails, and one of the comic book characters comes to life and wreaks havoc upon the convention center. It's your job to annihilate him and free the trapped convention goers. Timmy Failure Island is definitely one of my favourites, despite it being a crossover. I might be biased due to the fact that I'm a massive fan of the books though. Anyway, in this one you're helping novice detective Timmy Failure find out what his archenemy Karura is up to. Anyway, those are just a handful of Poptropica's islands. You should definitely go play them. Oh wait. On December 31st, 2020, Adobe shut down their Flash software, much to the dismay of many internet dwellers, myself included. Now, not only was this bad for us, it was also detrimental to companies like Poptropica, who now had to recreate their entire game in HTML5. While luckily Poptropica didn't have to shut down, it did unfortunately lose a hefty ton of its islands, now only having 12 islands at the time of writing, not including the home island. While the devs have said that they're going to be trying to port over old islands to the new format, they seem to be more focused on adding new ones. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you've only got the first 2 episodes of Poptropicon, it can get really annoying. But that's where Flashpoint comes in. If you're a nostalgia hoarder like myself, you may have actually heard of this. It's a Flash preservation project which, amazingly, has over 30 of the original Poptropica islands for your free perusal. I would highly recommend checking it out. It is quite literally the only reason I can make this video. I'll probably have a download link in the description. So I mentioned at the beginning that Poptropica was a semi-MMO, and you may be wondering what the heck that means. I mean, after everything I've explained, Poptropica definitely does sound like a single-player game, and for the most part, it is. However, in a handful of islands, there are special buildings which give access to things called common rooms, areas where you can interact with other players that happen to be in the same common room at the same time as you. Once you're in a common room, you can chat, albeit very restrictedly, play games, and more stuff like that. Essentially, Poptropica common rooms were just knock-off Club Penguin. Alright, now we're on to the obligatory spin-offs segment. Poptropica actually had a surprising amount of these. Poptropica Adventures was essentially a DS port of Astronaut's Island, Superpower Island, and Mythology Island. To be quite honest, I'm surprised they could fit all of those onto the cart. I've given it a little play using an emulator, and while it has some pretty limiting customization options, it's not half bad. It does what it needs to do, and nothing more. Poptropica Forgotten Islands was an iOS and 3DS game in which you could explore some brand new islands. Toe Island, Giant Island, Mystic Island, Flotsam Island, Gear Island, Wild Island, Blue Island, Smooth Sand Island, Four Winds Island, Castaway Island, and New Palm Island. Well, now I'm actually very surprised they managed to fit all of that onto the cart. I've not actually played this game, but it's certainly one that I'd like to check out one day. The sheer amount of islands on it is frankly very surprising to me, and the fact that they didn't have a single one that's already been used is mad, which either shows that this spin-off is really good because of its unique ideas, or the more likely option, it's a little on the sucky side because they ran out of said ideas. Poptropica Worlds was a remake of sorts made in Unity. It's pretty much the same as Poptropica, but with less and different islands and worse art. Sorry, I really don't like Poptropica Worlds. They were plugging it like so much when it came out, and I'm like 90% sure they've just given up on it because I have not seen a new island on there in God knows how long. Poptropica also, surprisingly, had a Steam release. I didn't get it because it's overpriced and doesn't have the best reviews. However, it brings back a solid handful of the original Poptropica islands, including my beloved Monster Carnival, which sadly didn't make it to Flashpoint. I may consider getting this one day when I actually have money, if only to just play Monster Carnival. Finally, Poptropica made, get this, a Zomberry Island-based Roblox game called Zomberry Humans vs. Zombies, and you're delusional if you think I'm gonna play it. Poptropica and 3D are two things that shouldn't be put in the same sentence, and besides, my Roblox days are long over. Oh, and these weren't game spin-offs, but Poptropica had a handful of books and comics, including the Mystery of the Map graphic novel, which later inspired Mystery of the Map Island in the actual game. I haven't actually read any of these because they never sold them at my local bookshop, and I couldn't be bothered to go to Bezos for help, so I just kind of forgot about them. They'd definitely be interesting books to own, though. Well, it's time for me to talk about my thoughts on Poptropica. Simply put, I absolutely adored it before it began porting to HTML5, and it was an absolute treat being able to replay a few of the islands for this video. While I'm not the biggest fan of what Poptropica is doing right now, concentrating less on bringing old islands back and more on crappy-looking Roblox games, it'll always hold a special place in my heart as one of the most fun and nostalgic games of the early 2000s. This is coming from someone who never played Club Penguin, by the way. Like I said earlier, I highly recommend playing a few of the islands yourself through Flashpoint. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you at some point in the future. Goodbye.